Thank you, Governor. So we orient everyone and give a little more background about the massive amount of fraud that is hitting unemployment across the United States. I think, as we've said before, with the massive amount of federal dollars that have gone into the unemployment programs during the pandemic and that is now extended until Labor Day, UI systems across the United States have become targets of massive fraud. And it's fraud that's not the kind that UI systems have traditionally been able to detect and deal with. Most of the fraud in the past has been one-off kind of fraud where someone files and they lie about why they were discharged, that kind of fraud. This is organized fraud, often cyber criminals who are located overseas, and it includes both the filing of fraudulent claims as well as now moving into attempts to break into existing accounts and steal the benefits that are being awarded to proper claimants. So we have been seeing these kinds of issues across the country. If we could pull up the first slide from Kansas. As you can see from Kansas, Kansas has had a problem dealing with fraud. They recently had to take down their UI system, put on new controls, and bring it back up, and were able to stop 240,000 attempts at fraudulent filings and hacks in the first few weeks alone. In Washington State, recently had a data breach that affected 1.3 million claimants. In Illinois, they have had over 1 million attempts at fraudulent filings there. And unfortunately for Illinois, a lot of successful fraudulent filings that have required them to put new controls on their system. And the same thing in Colorado, where there has been ongoing problems, and they have paid out multiple billions of dollars in fraudulent benefits, but have been able to stop just as much in payments. There have also been data breaches in Illinois, Vermont, Colorado, and Ohio. So these are problems that everyone is seeing. They're all across the nation, and these attacks are going to continue. So we are going to announce some new steps today. We hate that we have to do this to make things more difficult, but these criminals are relentless. They will not stop. And so, as the governor said, the biggest issue we face now is stopping fraudulent claims and as well as attempts to hack in the system. It takes, unfortunately, time away from processing valid claims, but they are not going to stop, and they're getting more sophisticated and, as I said, more relentless. So we are announcing today that the UI system is going to shut down as a result of some recent activity so that we can make sure that no one can gain unauthorized access to customer accounts. Unfortunately, what they are doing is, since we have had 4-digit PINs, they have been able to use computerized automated processes to try to guess what those PINs are. The PINs are encrypted on our ends. There has not been a release of PINs in that sense, but for instance, we had over close to 4,000 users whose PINs were 1, 2, 3, 4, had about 1,500 whose PINs were 2020, 1,200 of them were set to 1111. When you've got a PIN like that, it's easy for a computer criminal to simply set up a program that allows you to try that PIN across all of the accounts. So that's what we've been seeing. So what we are now required to do is we are going to shut down the UI systems, the public-facing systems, for 4 days, starting tonight at midnight until the end of the day on Monday, opening back up again on Tuesday morning. You will not, unfortunately, be able to file new claims or request benefits. If you needed to file a new claim during that time, we will be able to backdate your claim for you. If you needed to ask for benefits during that time, you will be able to get those benefits. No one will lose out on their chance to request those weeks of benefits. And the small good news in that is our internal systems will remain operational. So we will be still processing claims and doing work on our end. So if you have still access to the system, if your PIN has not been reset, you can still request until midnight. But letters are going to be going out starting tomorrow to all active UI claimants with a new 8-digit PIN. The systems will be back again available on Tuesday, and everyone is going to have to re-register your account. Even if you recently went through that process on the new portal, all of that is going to be wiped out, and you're going to have to re-register for the first time, for the first time, at uiclaimsportal.ky.gov or through the link at the kcc.ky.gov website. If we can pull up the slide. Claimants are going to have to go through a little bit more of a process now to log into the site. You're going to have to create a new 12-character password that will require a mix of letters, numbers, and special characters. We're going to have to do two-factor authentication, which means you're going to have to verify your email address. You will be emailed a code, and then you will have to come back to the website and put that in so we can verify that that is indeed your email. And for the first time you log in, you will have to use the new 8-digit PIN that will be mailed to you in a letter. The telephone claiming system, if you use that, the first time you claim, you will need to use the new 8-digit PIN. Once you get in and get re-registered, review all of the information on your account to make sure it's correct. If the account information is not correct, right now we have suspended all bank account changes, but if it's not correct, you can request a paper check. New claimants can put information in for your bank accounts. We're going to be sending out a press release on this and posting more information on the homepage as we work through this process. And we are also filing this afternoon a data breach notification. We don't have any evidence that data was taken from the system, but because your information might have been accessed in an effort to be completely clear and transparent, we are going to do this notification and provide you information that you need to protect yourselves. So one thing you don't want to do, if you are an active claimant, once you re-register for the system, you don't need to file a new claim. Once you get in and register, it will associate you with your existing claim. Now, for a little bit of good news, the new appointment system rolled out yesterday for our in-person appointments at 1 p.m. Things were smooth and successful for the most part. Claimants have made over 9,500 appointments for April 15th through April 30th. There was one glitch. Unfortunately, the appointment system listed the Franklin County telephone appointments as in-person appointments. We're going to be reaching out to people who inadvertently got scheduled for those and get them scheduled at times that work. The next round of appointments will soon be available. The appointments for May 3rd will become available next Monday at midnight, much like the telephone appointments do, and each day the next set of appointments will roll out. And again, these are preparing for our 13 career centers to reopen next week on the 15th. Please remember, if you have an appointment, wear a mask at all times during your appointment. Stay in your vehicle until 5 minutes before the appointment. We can't have lines outside. We know the COVID numbers are getting better, but the variants are out there, and we have to make sure that we take all the precautions we can so that our staff can stay there and healthy and stay open. You'll require a photo ID to get in the building. Your temperature will be taken. And please remember, we're going to do everything we can to try to resolve your issue while we're there. But sometimes it may require that you fill out some more paperwork and send it in, or we take something back to the office. So you might not get your issue 100% resolved, but they will do their best to get as close as possible during your appointment. And that's it.
All right. So obviously a lot there, a big step to have to shut down the system until the end of Monday. But given that this sophisticated attack is getting into people's accounts and could in fact take money that was otherwise going to them, it is a step we absolutely have to take. Not taking it is not an option. We can't allow people to switch bank account numbers, ultimately steal the state's money, and prevent those that are entitled to receive these dollars for the help they need to have that money diverted.